Oh yeah. Okay, so check, I guess, and then check here. Oh yeah. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. And then like f4, and then
Hmm.
the king is in a box. Yeah, so that probably means. Okay. So a3 was a sneaky move, but okay. So let's go back to rook c4 because there's still a lot of interesting stuff that's gonna happen. So rook c4 was played. Okay, so rook b5. Okay, rook c6, king a5. Okay, and now, what should white play here? This is
Hmm.
the real question. So black's
Rook.
sacrificing that e pawn. The question is, should we take it?
No.
Okay. So our queen's attacked. Our queen's attacked. So where should the queen go?
Hmm. I'm thinking. Not real sure.
Yeah, this is tricky. This is tricky. Yeah, I mean, because this square is offended, this square is offended, this square is offended, this square is offended, this square is offended. Only basically this square, or going back this way, or going back this way, or going back this way. So the question is, which is the square that leads to the greatest attack?
I'm not sure because if you move queen e3, it a7 is defended.
Right, that's true. It's true. And yeah, same thing with queen d4, a7 is defended. I mean, you still have promising chances, but yeah, like you're not actually threatening anything. So you give black time to kind of organize some sort of defense. So is there a
Hmm.
way we can maybe threaten something immediately and force black to react?
Yeah, just can't you just move your? No, you can't do that. That'd be losing. No, I'm not seeing it.
Okay, so well,
Tricky
don't worry, because the
position.
person who was white in this game didn't see it either. But queen h8 is actually the best move because we're threatening queen a8, which actually is mate. So so black's best defense is probably queen b7 to stop it, but then rook c8, king a4, rook a8, rook a5, queen e8. Actually, queen e8 first. Queen e8 first to pin this rook. Then king a3, queen takes e6. Now we took the pawn, but are still maintaining the attack. Now look how strong our queen is. Queen d5, stopping mate because we were threatening mate on b3, and then queen e3, and now white's up a pawn, and white still has a great attack. So this was clearly better. So yeah, queen h8 was the best move, but it was hard to see. But okay, so white played this. All right. Okay, so who's better here? The pure rook ending.
I would say white is
Okay, because
because he can always just grab the h7 pawn.
right, but also count the pawns.
Yeah, he's up a pawn.
Does black have any chances?
Not really.
You sure?
He could probably try to draw it.
hmm So actually, black was able to draw this game because of this problem. This problem of this pawn. So I'll show you what happened in the game to show you that white wasn't able to win this position. But okay, so rook d5. So black's threatening rook here, so white has to defend it. Now rook d6, f4, h6, king g2, king b5. So see how active this king is. See
Hmm.
how this queen trade caused the problem. This king is really active. So h3, rook g6, king f3, h5 to stop g4, rook e5 check, king c4, rook takes f5, rook a6. So black sacrificing all these pawns for this one. So rook takes h5, rook takes a2, but this pawn is further than any of these three. So,
How'd he draw this position?
you'll
Because
see.
white can always get rid. sack his rook or the pawn.
You'll
And
see rook h8, b3, rook c8, king d4, rook d4, rook d8, king d. Okay, so rook d8, king c3, right? Rook c8, king d3, rook d8, king c3, and then rook c8. And here it was drawn by threefold repetition. Even though technically it wasn't threefold repetition, the arbiter called it a draw because White's score sheet was inaccurate because he was low on time. But yeah, I mean, in theory, probably if he played here, and then like say here, like this should probably be a win for White, but it's still tricky. It's still tricky. Like,
yeah, well, Black would have to give up his rook or one of the pawns.
well, I mean, the thing is, like, okay, so I mean, you play f5 or something here, king c4, g4, king d5, king f4, king d6, h4, king e7. I mean, now that Black gets in front of the pawns, it's not so easy to push these. So this is actually probably better for Black. I think it's actually winning for Black. Let me just check real fast on the engine, but I think this is winning for Black. So the problem is the pawns aren't far enough advanced, so you can actually stop them all. Yeah, see, it is better for Black. I mean, it's probably a draw. It's draw-ish, but yeah, it's better for Black. Yeah, -1. No, it's winning for Black, I think. So, so I guess White was just worried about something like this happening, and it's really hard to stop it because, so yeah, so say here, 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 here. Okay, so maybe f5, b2, g4, b1, or actually, no, here probably rook a. Oh yeah, see here rook a3 check and rook b3 wins. So you have to play. Okay, so yeah, here you have to play. You have to take. So then take. Then let's see what this is. Maybe this is still a win for White. So yeah, he probably should have done this, but he probably didn't have time to calculate it. Okay, so yeah, computer size is still actually computer size is 0.00. So actually, this is probably a draw. Yeah, it's actually a draw. I mean, I don't know how, but yeah, I would definitely lose this either side. It's really a tough position, but yeah, this is a draw. So so White was just trying to figure out the best way to do it, and then he kind of just perpetual check. But really the main point to take away from this game is how. Okay, let me set the results so I can go back. Okay, so the real point to take away from this game is I'm just gonna scroll quickly through it, but look at the position like say. Okay, so first here, noticing that we want to. Okay, well, let me play g3 first. But yeah, so for first point is noticing that here we want to trade these pieces so that our king feels safer. So that was point one. Okay, now point two. Point two was realizing that our king's safer than this king. Then we have to activate these rooks. So tactically, we were able to play rook c3 and rook fc1. And then point three was realizing that. After this exchange happened. Okay, so now we're trying to create threats against Black's king. Now we're trying to safeguard our own king. Okay, and now we have to realize in this position that we don't want to trade queens because our king is not as centralized as Black's king, and so any endgame, even though the pawn structure is weaker for Black than it is for White, that any endgame will probably just be a draw at best for us because of the king positions and because one of our main trumps in this position is the fact that Black's king is unsafe. So after check, decline the queen trade, and then now since Black's pieces are in optimally defensive positions, he had to basically push this pawn and create a weakness. And so our next goal was to surround this pawn, which we did this way with queen b2. And now, only one weakness, we got to go through second weakness. So second weakness was created in that this king is now less safe, and then we got our queen in to the game from behind, did some stuff, got into a really good position here, had a forced win basically with a3, but missed it. Still had a really good position after rook c4, rook c6, but then kind of just thought this endgame was going to be won, but it actually turned out to be a lot trickier than we thought because this pawn actually ended up being as strong as these three pawns. So White should have kept going with the queen h8 idea and not trading queens, but he kind of got fooled into thinking that endgame was stronger than it was. So I think he was also pretty short on time, but but yeah, so the principle of two weaknesses is something that occurs in almost every endgame. So especially with such limited pieces on the board, it's not enough for one piece to be or for one weakness to be there, because oftentimes it's defensible. But if you have two weaknesses, uh, like you saw, I mean, Black's king basically had to run to c6 just to stay alive.
Yeah.
So, um, so yeah. So I guess that's it for this one. And then yeah, next time we'll start on more middle game stuff. But this one, I thought this game was kind of good because it showed like the transition from the middle game into the rook ending. So
Yeah.
okay,
Well, thanks, man.
yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
So I'll highlight this later on so you can look at it whenever you want. And
Okay.
I'll see you on
That's
this one.
fine. All right. Thanks, man.
Sure. See ya.